Welcome to this episode of Uplifting News Sleep Aid Daily, where we read you good news to fall asleep to. Today is Tuesday, April 28th, 2020. Our uplifting stories include: the Prime Minister of Finland held a press conference for children. A woman is doing one random act of kindness per week for 45 weeks. And California will pay restaurants to feed seniors in need. Now, breathe in. Breathe out. And relax as we dive into these stories. Our first story is from Yle. Finnish Prime Minister holds press conference for children. PM Sanna Marin responded to children's concerns in Finland's first ever government press conference for kids. 3 government ministers answered questions posed by children about the coronavirus and its effects in a live-streamed press conference on Friday. The event was organized by the Apu Juniori magazine Yle and Helsingin Sanomat's children's news unit. Prime Minister Sanna Marin, Minister of Education Li Andersson, and Minister of Science and Culture Hanna Kosonen were virtually on hand to answer coronavirus-related questions from school-aged children. Proceedings started with an overview about the current situation, in which the politicians emphasized that thorough hand-washing and social distancing continue to be important. The videos were posed by children between 7 and 12 via video link. Emma asked the burning question of the week: when can we go back to school? Minister of Education Li Andersson replied, "We're listening to the experts to see when it's possible, whether it's later this spring or more likely the fall." Iris then asked, "Is the situation in Finland good?" Prime Minister Sanna Marin reassured her that if we compared our situation to other countries, it's good. "We are following how the situation is developing because we want to protect everyone," said Marin. All 3 ministers repeatedly stressed the importance of keeping up social distancing measures, washing hands very thoroughly after coming indoors, and checking in with people such as grandparents by phone or text. Other questions included, what can be done for Finland, which was posed by Aron. In addition to following the coronavirus guidelines, the most important thing that school-age kids can do is their schoolwork, replied Andersson. Our next article is from Blooms. This amazing woman is doing one random act of kindness every week for 45 weeks. Shannon Schultz is a real estate agent, mother of 3, homeschooling parent, and active community member in her town of Cedarburg, Wisconsin. Yet somehow, every week for 45 straight weeks, rain or shine, she finds time and energy to perform a random act of kindness for strangers or neighbors. 5 years ago, shortly before her 40th birthday, Schultz took a step back to reflect on ways to commemorate this milestone day. "I recalled a friend who counted down to her 40th with some bucket list items," Schultz says. "While I appreciated the countdown aspect of it, I realized I preferred to turn the focus away from myself and use it to do some good." In the 40 weeks leading up to her 40th, Schultz decided to mark each week with a unique act of selflessness. At first she did her thing under the radar, but soon wanted to cut through the negative news cycle with some positivity. So she started her own kindness countdown, creating a blog and Facebook page to document the experience, inspire others, and spread some cheer. Flash forward 5 years, and Schultz is at it again. Only this time, it's 45 acts of kindness over the 45 weeks leading up to her 45th birthday. And this round of goodness feels especially welcome as it coincides with the heightened need for kindness amid the pandemic. Right around March 15th, as local and federal mandates to self-isolate and social distance ramped up, Schultz aligned her good deeds with the times and completed her first coronavirus-focused activity. Through her favorite kickboxing gym, Schultz has made longtime friends, many of whom are ER doctors and nurses. "Because of this, I was aware and focused on the impact this would have on them from an early time," Schultz explains. I dropped off shamrock cookies to the hospital where they all work with a note that read, "We're so lucky to have you caring for our community. Thank you." To date, Schultz has completed 6 pandemic-related acts of generosity and gratitude, 1 per week since the quarantine began. Cookies for the ER staff, crafting a large thank you sign, and sending dozens of packets of calming chamomile tea to the ER staff during the worst COVID-19 week in Wisconsin, making a paper chain for a medical care worker and her husband, who's also a medical care professional, as they count down to a special reunion. Pandemic aside, Schultz has branched out to help her community in a myriad of ways. Some of her favorites? Using a portion of her real estate commissions to purchase grocery store gift cards and give them to hungry families. She's also loved putting together kits for the homeless, building a home with Habitat for Humanity, picking up litter in local parks, and consistently donating blood every 8 weeks. Inspiration comes from all over, she says. There are ways people could use a little more joy in their lives, and not just during the time of the pandemic, reminds Schultz, who's also responded to natural disasters and sent items to military members overseas. Kindness, Schultz explained, is her preferred tonic for the pandemic and any blues. When feeling anxious, worried, sad, stressed, or depressed, the most efficient, effective, and reliable way to cheer up yourself is to do something nice for someone else. It never fails. What's more, she often gets to share these experiences with her husband and kids, making them that much more special to her. I miss people. They're invaluable. I miss the sense of community we usually experience this time of year after the Wisconsin winter, Schultz says. So the care kits for my neighbors were my favorite coronavirus-related weeks so far. It was fun to have neighbors yell across the street how much they look forward to planting their seeds, or to say hi and thank you for the tea. She not only loves the direct happiness she's providing for the recipients, but also that her efforts are inspiring others through her website, social media, and beyond. My favorite thing is when people message me that they were inspired to replicate something I've done with their own family and their own community, she says of the amazing response she's gotten from followers and fans. The ripple effect of Kindness Countdown, tied with these memories of doing good alongside my family, is my favorite thing to come out of this project. What's next? I've had a few acts of kindness planned for my remaining 10 weeks that unfortunately will no longer be safe options, she said. But my mind is always racing, and the ideas have shifted with the times. This week's agenda includes donating masks to healthcare professionals, and next week is all about DIY Mayday baskets to drop on quarantined neighbors' doorsteps. I hope that when this is over, we all take the simple, slowed-down improvements we've made at home and carry them into the future with others we love and might miss right now, Schultz says. Until then, I hope to inspire others to connect and be the reason others smile from a safe distance. This podcast is hosted on Anchor.fm. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free, there's creation tools to allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute the podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started. Our last article is from Patch by Paige Austin. California to pay restaurants to feed needy seniors. Governor Gavin Newsom announced a novel aid program Friday that aims to get restaurants rehiring workers right away while also feeding needy seniors and generating sales tax revenue for city governments. California will team up with the federal government to pay restaurants to provide 3 meals a day to needy seniors. The partnership between the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, state and local governments will provide eligible seniors with 21 meals a week, Newsom said. FEMA will cover 75% of the cost of the meals. The state will cover most of the remaining costs, and restaurants would be reimbursed at rates of $16 for breakfasts, $17 for lunches, and up to $28 for dinners. According to Newsom, the program is a first of its kind in the nation. This partnership will allow for the ability for restaurants to start rehiring people or keep people currently employed and start preparing meals, 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, and have those meals delivered to our seniors all throughout the state of California, Newsom said. We will provide an unlimited number of meals, no cap in terms of this support. Restaurants have been devastated since the state issued shutdown orders, and city governments are facing massive tax shortfalls with local businesses closed. At the same time, communities are struggling to find ways to keep vulnerable seniors safe while still providing them with groceries and meals. Billions in federal relief packages have been unable to serve all the dire and often competing needs during the pandemic. This program aims to tackle 3 problems: skyrocketing unemployment, municipal budget shortfalls, and protecting seniors with the same money. Newsom said there will be eligibility requirements for seniors based in part on their income, but also based on their risk of exposure to COVID-19, if they have a compromised immune system or if they have been directly impacted or exposed to the coronavirus. Newsom said exact eligibility requirements will be decided at the local level. He also noted that in addition to providing businesses for restaurants that have been forced to dramatically scale back operations, the cost of meals will also generate tax revenue for local governments. Now we have the ability to have a locally driven decision-making, to start employing workers and get these restaurants reopened and provide hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of prepared meals every day delivered to our seniors throughout the state of California, he said. The governor said the program will also have nutrition guidelines for the meals. We want to make sure we're focused on locally produced produce, he said. We want to connect our farms to this effort. We want to focus our values throughout the state of California to get a lot of independent restaurants up and running as well and have a diversity of options. And make sure what we are sending to our seniors is low sodium, not high fructose drinks or sugary drinks and the like. So there's guidelines that we're putting out, and we're just very excited about this partnership. Information on the program, dubbed Restaurants Deliver Home Meals for Older Californians, is available at the state's website at covid19.ca.gov. That's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us at Uplifting News Sleep Aid Daily. Stay safe and stay inside.